Why, hello everyone, and welcome to a self-critique of one of my ranked games I played pretty recently. Here on the Nile Shallows. I was playing versus Risbo95 on Poseidon, whereas I was playing Oranos. And if you know me from Discord or anywhere within the AoM community, you'll know that I am an Oranos main. I kind of only play Oranos in ranked, so it's kind of... You can expect to see me play a lot of Oranos, and I might even do some Oranos build orders going forward. Some basically just getting my build order, getting going on this one. I did send the sheep around the back just to try and see if there's anything back there. I think there was a gold mine back there, so it's a bit of a good thing to check. It saves some scouting time with the main oracles, and it just is a bit more efficient. In this matchup versus Poseidon, I was kind of expecting them to be more aggressive than is typical for most ranked players. It's something that you see quite a lot from Poseidon players. I usually like to be the aggressor, but you can't quite get your eco and military production up in time with Oranos to beat out a Poseidon or any other Greek player, really. So in this instance, I was going for a bit more of a defensive posturing at the beginning, with plans to move into a bit more aggression. But yeah, this one is just doing some scouting, seeing what's on the map. There's a bit of some guesswork you have to do here about what the Poseidon's going to do, because with Poseidon, obviously he gets a lot of bonuses for horses and things like not hippocampus. What's the name of those? The Hippias, and the Podromos and the heroic. But sometimes the Poseidon player will go for something different. I kind of just assumed he was going to do the typical Poseidon thing. Let's see here. Yeah, unfortunately the stage of the map is kind of always a little bit boring because there's nothing really to do here as you build up the build order. Mainly just scouting out. I did see that we both have this close second TC. As you can see in the minimap down on the bottom right, you can see the TC above his base and the one above my base. These both of which have some pretty good hunt and gold relatively nearby. So I knew that was going to be a big part of where we go into for this match. It's going to be the main deciding factor, I feel like. There we go. Getting my temple up. One thing as a Oranos player, or just Atlantean in general, that I like to do is to, once the temple's up, just to heroize and get some relics out there, just for that bit of extra favor, and for any of the good bonuses that are available. You'll probably see me do that before too long. I think I sent one of my oracles back to do so. This at some point. And in this case, I ended up going for aging up with Oceanos. The reason I'm going for Oceanos here is mainly for its bonus to the Catapeltes. Because Poseidon likes to do a lot of horses, the Catapeltes is the obvious go-to for the Atlantean player. I really enjoy any of the Catapeltes in this matchup, primarily because with the weightless mace, it really has some excellent stats in terms of damage and speed bonuses to the Catapeltes. It's really useful against any kind of Hippias play or even raiding Cavalry versus the Norse. It's just my go-to. As we can see, Risbo ended up aging up a little bit earlier than I did through Hermes, so he's going for those Centaurs and Ceasefire, which is pretty standard, and yeah, at this point I pretty much knew that he was going to go for the standard play. One thing I do like to do in the, in the matchup versus Greek is you have to be a little bit careful of only doing Catapeltes. In this case, I decided to go for Murmillo to start out, just because Murmillo are a little bit better as generalists. It just makes it a little bit better overall. In this case, as you can see, I was able to snag their scouts, take it out pretty quickly, minimal downtime on villagers. It's a pretty good trade overall. There is his centaur going in. I'm just pulling back a little bit, trying to minimize any damage he can do. I've got my hero oracle there in case he tries anything. But in this case, he's probably not gonna do too much, all things considered. Alright, I did get one of the relics I did get was the monkey relic, which is quite useful for just harassment in general, or just like tanking. Getting a couple, just like 1 or 2 Mamillo out just to start, while I work on getting the rest of my army up. He's saying a little bit of harassment there. Nothing too worrisome. I'm just pulling those couple villagers back just to get a bit of more food going. I did a bit of macro with my assignment of citizens, so I'm a little bit behind in terms of that. Had to pull some of those off to get the manor up there. I was getting a little bit distracted with his centaur. So I'm getting a couple more Mamillo out. Also upgrading for Bite of the Shark, that's a key one, as well as Frontline Heroics, which will be quite useful for reducing the cost of heroization. I do see he has a small army there, going for Hippias. In this case, I'm just going to heroize these. I'm not going to wait for her Frontline Heroics, just because I need to get the centaur down as soon as possible. It's going to be I'm going to have to get those taken care of. So he is pulling those Hippias around. He sees me because of the Caladria. I saw Autumn heading back the other way. So at this point, I'm just trying to see if I can get an engagement, take out one of the centaur or something. In this case, I'm able to. And because I was basically hard pushing him into a certain position, he was unable to. He knew he was going to be unable to get away, and I forced him to drop ceasefire. In this case, he's going to try and take advantage of that to try and go up and hit my food line. It's going to be a bit of an annoyance, but it's not going to be too bad. Because he's right there, I'm just going to have to quickly toss my citizens into the Sky Passage. I don't currently have a second Sky Passage, so this was a little bit of a harrowing situation. I was a little bit concerned there, but I knew my army was coming, so I was going to be alright no matter what. I did start in the second Sky Passage to be safe, and I just popped citizens right back out just to keep on working. Now I've also got 2 counter barracks up, so I can start pumping out some catapulties. Those are really going to do the biggest amount of damage versus those Hippias. That's going to be the main driver here. I think I also made one Terma or something trying to help deal with the Pegasus. That's one issue with this particular build versus Greek, is that you don't really have a good answer versus the Hippias without just going Terma. Here we go. Got the army in place. I'm not quite ready here. I'm just going to... yeah, just... can't really do much against that army with only 4 Mamillo. Even though they're heroized, it's not enough. Gonna drop a couple more of those counter barracks, trying to get my catapulties up and going. I did miss micro that one catapulties. So that one died, unfortunately. So a bit of harassment in the back with these monkeys. They aren't going to do a lot of damage, but they are going to distract him, allow me to get more of my production buildings and more of my economy up. I'm definitely not spending as much as I should be. You see I'm floating a little bit in terms of resources. I could definitely be producing a lot more catapulties and Mamillo right now, but I'm not. So that's something I definitely have to work on in the future. I did spot that he was working on those archery ranges, so there's one reason why I'm getting those Terma. Because he saw my focus on the infantry, and I knew I'd need to start basically getting everything going in terms of able to counter his archers. The only one I have realistically is the Terma. Then I'm not sure why he pulled back here. He just pulled his army back away from his villagers, which let me go in and do quite a bit of damage. Consider using the Caladria, but it doesn't really have a... it has a negative multiplier versus villagers, so it's not the best option. Here we go, he's got his archers out. Got my one Terma there, it's going to fall, unfortunately, but I've got the Caladria there to do some damage. Got my catapulties in there to deal with all those Hippias. In this case, that's one reason why I'm also keeping the Mamillo in here, because they are quite useful against their hoplite spam as well. So in this case, he does not, his army kind of just melted to my combination of Murmillo and Catapeltes, and he has to pull back from his forward food position. Probably has to go down to berries or something similar. I'm pushing in, trying to get as many of these villager kills as I can. Trying to get him out because he doesn't seem to have a lot of military, and you'll see in a second that he does get the watchtower, so that's going to put a bit of pressure on here. I'm still comfortable for the most part. And then he does age up through Dionysus, which gives him his bronze power. At this point, I'm just deciding to pull back. He's got too much defenses. He's got his watchtowers. I might have been able to take that fight, but I wasn't 100% certain, which is why I pulled back at that point. So I decided just to pull back, heal up with my Caladria, do some damage under its production buildings, take stock of where I need to be. I do spot that his villagers are on the southern gold mine there, so I decided to send my Catapeltes over to basically deal with them. In this case, I know that he's swapping off the Hippias, so the Catapeltes will not be as useful. So I'm just going to send those Catapeltes over just to do some damage against the villagers there, because they're going to be in a vulnerable position. Meanwhile, I can be up here just dealing some harassments, keeping his attention in the north, without him realizing I'm in the south. That's the key thing, is just distraction, distraction, distraction. If he's focusing on building up his forces in the north, and I hit his villagers in the south, it'll be a much more useful situation for myself. Yeah, I'm still floating more than I probably should. I do need to make some more production buildings at this stage, but at this point I'm feeling pretty confident. I've got my 16 Catapeltes in here, deal some damage. They aren't the best melee units, but 16 of them will deal a lot against those villagers. I'm just able to take a lot. You can see he basically just feels like he got overwhelmed, and he just decides to quit right there. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, please remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!